From Visual Vengeance comes the 1984 martial arts insanity that is Furious. This is directed by Tim Everitt and Tom Sartori, who also wrote, produced, and directed the film. It has Simon Rhee, Phillip Rhee, and Arlene Montano, and a cameo by, seriously, Susanna Hoffs as a waitress. This is comes in English mono with English subtitles. This was shot without sound, MOS as it were, shot on the cheap, shot on film in its day, and edited. And I think probably this looks like a lot of Visual Vengeance releases in that what we're seeing is probably a video master from when it originally was finished, and that's all they had to work with. It was a little disappointing that it was obviously shot and finished and edited on film. But at some point, I think the titles or some of the titles might be done on video. Something about it means the only master is a videotape, and it is what it is. But boy, is this movie a blast. Basically, I'm going to kind of read from my notes and tell you the story here. The film opens with this kung fu girl in some strange rocky landscape being chased by these guys who look like they're extras from the Parmesan sequences in Gymkata, and they call to each other by doing the Mackenzie brothers, which immediately sets a tone, if you know that, of this film is not going to be taken very seriously. She gets killed, not going to tell you the whole story. She gets killed, and her brother, portrayed by Simon Rhee, seeks out for vengeance. And his vengeance takes him to this large office building that is staffed by like guys in Devo suits who are kung fu masters. And there's a lot of fights and a lot of mysticism and chickens and a man who turns into a pig, and the pig talks, and people who shoot chickens out of their sleeves. And it's all done practically. It's all done on the cheap. The food is rather good in this film. It's just this bizarre fever dream of a martial arts. I guess you'd call it a comedy, because clearly a lot of it is very silly, and the dubbing was all dubbed after the fact like a martial arts movie would, and the sound effects are very comedic at times, and the soundtrack often doesn't match the action in terms of the music score, let's say, doesn't always seem wildly appropriate to what we're looking at. But boy, is this film ridiculous and fun. It's a good party movie, with a good film to watch with friends. And it's one I'd heard about for a long time. And finally seeing it on this Visual Vengeance release, it's something. It's not one you'll soon forget. And as I say, it starts off as just an action movie. Then it kind of goes into the realm of like science fiction and things like that. It's the visual quality is not beautiful. It is what it is. It's presented in 178 widescreen. It has a ton of extras that I'm going to show you. Extras and tuck-ins and little doodads and so forth. And I'll tell you, we'll get to the physical extras in a moment, but I'll tell you what's extras on the disc. So the movie itself, golly. The extras: archival commentary by co-director Tim Everitt, commentary by Justin Decloux of the Important Cinema Club, who's great, and Peter Kulowski of the Toronto International Film Festival. So they talk about their experience with this movie and what they know about this movie, and they have fun with the movie, as anybody who watches this film will. High Kicking in Hollywood, Tom Sartori interview, that's 53 minutes. The Kung Fu Kid, Tim Everitt video interview, that's 54 minutes. North American No Budget Martial Arts Cinema Primer, that's by Justin Decloux, that's 21 minutes, and that's just goes through a ton of movies that it's sort of like, if you like Furious, you should really see these movies. Rhee Brothers Career Overview, that's a Justin Decloux video essay, that's 10 minutes. You get a Scarecrow video podcast with Tim Everitt, that's 29 minutes, and that's audio with like an image on your screen. You get Furious New Wave Band behind the scenes Super 8 footage and no audio of the band that you see playing in the film, that's 3 minutes. Scorched Earth Policy, the band you see in the film was an actual band that one or more of the directors of this film was a member of. Scorched Earth Policy, full 6-song EP from 1987. It's 14 minutes. It is the band that they were in around the time of filming. You get promo pics, you get video footage of them rehearsing and such while this audio plays over it. Cinema Face Live in Concert from 1986, 21 minutes. It is a video recording, a multicam video recording, plus stills of that band in that the two directors were in doing a concert somewhere. They're like a punky new wave band. Tom Sartori 1980s music video reel, that's 12 minutes. Videos that the Furious director made. They're zoomed in to fit 16:9, which I'm not really a fan of, but those are there to see other things that he did around that time in LA. Tom Sartori Super 8 short films. You get Allegiance, that is a silent film, that's 7 minutes. You get Bummed Out, that's 12 minutes. and that is basically a silent film that has audio laid on after the fact. And Hong Kong Flu, which is 5 minutes. Now, Allegiance is like a Civil War drama. Bummed Out is just a guy who's a homeless guy bumming around the city and having slightly comedic adventures. And then Hong Kong Flu is basically just home movie footage of the streets of Hong Kong that are pretty shaky for 5 minutes. You get 3 trailers. Trailer 1 for Furious is Fighting, 2.5 minutes. Trailer 2 is Fantasy, 2 minutes. And then you get the Visual Vengeance trailer that's 1 minute. So now, if you've seen me talk about Visual Vengeance before, they really deliver on the goods. So here we have the box. So you got a slipcase. Oops. The slipcase slips to reveal the cover with different artwork. I always appreciate it when the cover artwork's different than the slipcase. And then you open up, I have to be careful. You get a Furious throwing star. You get a sheet of video store stickers that say things like Kick-Ass, New Release, Top Rental, Martial Arts. You get it's a lot. I gotta balance it. You get a little mini sheet there with a little description of the film. Didn't want it to hit the floor. We get a mini poster with, again, different artwork. And we get a reversible cover that depicts the original video release. And we get the artwork from the slipcase on there. So that's a lot of stuff for this little movie that these guys made. And I got to tell you, the extras are fascinating on this too. The story of, by hook and by crook, how these, I want to say they were USC film students, were able to make this film. They even say it themselves, how they had to lie, cheat, and steal to get this film made, but it did, and how it got distributed, and how it came out on video by an adult film company on video, and just the weird, wonderful world of production and post-production and distribution that this film had that led it between these two guys having an idea, wanting to make a movie, from there to this disc that you hold in your hand. So pretty highly recommended if you like goofy movies and martial arts movies and DIY kind of homemade, low budget movies. Available on Blu-ray from Visual Vengeance is Furious.